What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here coming at y'all with another week 4 preview, man. And I'm actually very excited for this game. I think we have a very underrated Big Ten matchup going down in East Lansing this weekend. Kicks off at 6 p.m. Central Time live on FS1. We got the Nebraska Cornhuskers traveling to East Lansing to take on the number 20 ranked Michigan State Spartans, who have been one of the really big surprises of the season. I think you could put them right up there with like an Arkansas, even like a Fresno State, who's making a huge run in college football right now. But both of these teams are coming into the weekend looking to prove that they are real contenders in the Big Ten, and that it's time to start doubting them and time to start putting a little bit of respect on their resumes. Now, for storylines, Michigan State comes in undefeated. They have two marquee road wins. They blew out Northwestern week 1. They put on an explosive performance down in Miami last weekend. And they're looking to move to 2-0 in the Big Ten and really show everyone that they're a force to be reckoned with this year in the Big Ten title race, and that this team is legit. I got to say, I didn't see this coming. I will be upfront. I did not predict them to be very good this year. And Peyton Thorn, Walker at running back, this team has been absolutely outstanding. Tucker has done a great job at the head coaching spot here at Michigan State. Now, the Cornhuskers come in at 500. They're 2-2. Both of their losses, though, coming on the road by single digits, one to a very good Oklahoma team. And really and truly, this team has shown over and over again that they can't be overlooked, and they're going to give everyone a real fight. I did not believe they would play Oklahoma as close as they did. They had chances to win that game, and now Scott Frost is looking to potentially save his job. It'll be a huge road win to get them back to 500 in Big Ten play, get them back in 3-2 for the season. But looking at the matchup overall, the Cornhuskers have won both of the last two matchups, which came in 2015 and 18, and they lead the overall series 9-2. The only wins for Michigan State coming in 2013 and 2014. So Nebraska has historically dominated this series, but they are, as y'all see at the bottom, as I'm recording, a 5-point underdog. Now, the keys to victory, man, we'll start with Michigan State. It's been obvious all season long what the keys are for Michigan State. Run the ball. They have used a heavy dose of the running game to overwhelm opponents, and therefore it's been able to open up the passing game for Peyton Thorn to take his shots deep, and they just keep the defense off balance. They overwhelm you with so many different things. They're going to run it down your throat, take a shot, and then Peyton Thorn can also dink and dunk if you allow the routes underneath to come open. So they have so many things that they can beat you with. And it's really, for the first 3 weeks, have overwhelmed these defenses. Now, they're averaging over 260 yards per game on the ground. That's top 11 in the country right now in terms of rushing yardage per game. And they also rank 5th in the entire country in yards per rush this season, averaging almost 7 yards per carry as a team throughout this college football season so far. And it starts with Kenneth Walker III, man. This is the X factor for everything Michigan State wants to do. He has already rushed for a ridiculous 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, and for the season, guys, averaging almost 9 yards per carry. And this isn't just like, he's gotten the ball a handful of times. This is a starting running back who this offense leans on time and time again, and he is giving y'all 9 yards per carry consistently. It's been an outstanding season for Walker. A lot of people are calling him the Heisman dark horse at running back. He's going to have to be a focal point of this offense. And I also want to give a shout out to Jordan Simmons, backup running back. He's been great in his relief for Walker, over 130 yards. He's averaging 6 yards per carry. He knows he doesn't have to be special, but at least that running game doesn't take a huge drop off when Walker comes off the field. Now, breaking it down in terms of like advanced analytic, how does Michigan State run the ball? The edge is going to be the battle of the night. If Nebraska cannot control the edge of the line of scrimmage, they're going to lose this game. The Spartans off the edge, left or right, so off the tight end spot on the outside of this offensive line, they have rushed for over 400 yards, and they're averaging 12 yards per carry with 6 touchdowns running off the edge. That is elite production, and the tackles and tight ends on the edge and the H-backs have done an outstanding job of sealing the edge, and really getting up the field and getting into linebackers, getting into DBs, and paving the way for Walker and these guys to really put up huge numbers off the edge. Now, Nebraska has to find a way to set the edge. They have to contain this running game because if they allow them to be explosive off the edge, averaging 12 yards per carry, Nebraska's going to get run off the field, just like we've seen Michigan State do to Miami. They did it to Northwestern. You cannot let them control the line of scrimmage, especially on the edges of this offensive line. Now, Peyton Thor has probably been the biggest beneficiary of this running game. This rushing attack is so dominant, so these wide receivers get a lot of one-on-one opportunities, which allows Thorne to have a lot of high percentage throws. He's able to take the deep shots off of play action, and this year he's delivered on them. And he's shown why he was picked as QB1 for the Spartans. This year is a whole 62% completion percentage, over 700 yards passing, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Biggest stat of the year, and a rushing touchdown as well. Last year as a freshman, he really struggled with turnovers. He had 3 and 3 in terms of touchdowns to interceptions, and he really was inconsistent at times. But he has shown major improvement this year, and I think he should get a lot of credit for this Michigan State turnaround that we've seen this year. Now, play action has been a huge staple of this offense. Thorne is going to throw underneath. Without the play action, he only averages about 6.2 yards per attempt underneath. But play action is where he shines, guys. Over 400 yards passing, 5 of his touchdowns come from play action, and he's averaging almost 14 yards per attempt. So when Michigan State runs to play action, they're going to take their shots and they're going to push the ball down the field. And Thorne has shown that he can do it. He grades out at a 90.2 in deep balls over 20 yards down the field. It's been one of the keys to make this offense so dynamic, and it's been the key to all the offensive success that we have seen from Michigan State this season. Now, for the Cornhuskers, and this one this is a key that I never thought I'd say on this show, but it has to be let Adrian Martinez go be the playmaker he has shown that he is able to be. The Spartans' rushing defense is stout, so I don't think Nebraska is going to be able to just run the ball at their will, but the secondary has shown some flaws to me, and that's why Martinez has to be the key here, and the offensive line has to keep Martinez clean and comfortable in the pocket. I understand he had a very rough start against Illinois in week 0, but we have seen him respond in a huge way for the last 3 games, and he gave the Cornhuskers a real chance to pull off the upset in Norman. He's already thrown for over 1,000 yards. He's completing over 65% of his passes, 5 passing touchdowns, 1 pick, almost 300 yards rushing, and 4 rushing touchdowns. He has been the entire offense for Nebraska. If he can be dynamic with his legs outside the pocket and allow the Cornhuskers to take advantage of the Spartans defense, especially if they're not disciplined in their rush lanes, Nebraska has a real shot to pull the upset here. Now, the key for Martinez has been keeping pressure off of him. That's why I mentioned the offensive line has to keep him clean. That's why this offensive line is going to be a huge key for the Cornhuskers. When he's not under pressure, guys, Martinez completes over 74% of his passes, 700 yards, 4 touchdowns, and has an 88.8 PFF passing grade. That grade drops to 60.2 when he's under pressure, and that's when he threw his big turn. That's when he had his big turnover, and that's when he really gets out of his comfort zone, and this offense starts to stall. I was really impressed with their wide receiver tight end unit this year. I thought they played well. I believe it's Samari Tor and Austin Allen are really been the top targets. Allen being the tight end. They're going to be some players to watch, man. They both got over 13 catches. Tor has 333 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and is averaging over 20 yards per catch. Also, Omar Manning is also going to be a player to watch. He's been a deep threat for the Cornhuskers, and he has enough experience to go make some plays on the outside as well. Now, the matchup to watch, as much as it's also Nebraska's front seven against this Michigan State offensive line, which has been outstanding, I'm going to go the other way and pick the front seven of the Spartans against this Nebraska offensive line, because I don't think Nebraska is going to be able to completely shut down the run game. The key, though, is to allow your offense to take some pressure off your defense and keep them off the field. So establish drives and really have this offensive consistency at a high level. That's going to be the key. So protecting Adrian Martinez is going to be of the utmost importance if the Cornhuskers want to win this game. So that's why I picked this matchup. The Cornhuskers offensive line, guys, to put it nicely, has been atrocious at times this season. While this week is going to be a huge test, they're going to have to show up in a big way, and they're going to have to show some consistency, which they've shown at times, but it just hasn't been enough to really convince me that they're going to be a strength of this team moving forward. Now, the offensive line does not have a single starter that grades above a 60 on pass blocking this season. They've allowed 11 sacks, 48 hurries, and this is the most ridiculous stat of all. In 4 games, over 60 pressures on Adrian Martinez. That cannot happen this weekend. And the tackle spot is by far the biggest concern, where the 2 starting tackles have allowed almost 30 combined pressures off the edge. So Bryce Bernhardt and Turner Cochran have to step up this weekend at those tackle spots, because if Michigan State's getting pressure off the edge, it's really going to disrupt what this offense wants to do going forward in this game. Now, Michigan State's defensive line has to find a way to let Martinez get settled in, and they have to be disciplined in their pass rush lanes, because if you let him escape the pocket, he can hurt you. He had a huge 75-yard touchdown run against Illinois that really brought Nebraska back into that game, and they almost came back in that one. The edge spot, of course, is the one to watch due to Nebraska's offensive tackle struggles. Jeff, I believe it's Petrowski and Drew Beasley are the guys you're going to have to watch there. Both of them already have 2 sacks this season, and they've combined for over 10 pressures this season, and probably are the X factors to watch on this defensive line. Jacob Slade and Simeon Barrow are the guys to watch on the interior of the defensive line, while also Quavarius Couch from his linebacker spot is the highest graded pass rusher on this Michigan State defense. I think he's going to be the one tasked with really trying to stop Martinez's legs and also get after him and make him uncomfortable in the pocket. I love how this defense is able to get after the quarterback and get to the backfield. They've been extremely stout in terms of just overall defensive consistency this year. They really, really rattled De'Aaron King in that Miami offense last week. So if they can repeat that, it's going to be smooth sailing for this Michigan State team this weekend. Now, I expect East Lansing to be absolutely electric this weekend. This team is rolling. This is one of the better Michigan State teams we have seen in a while. That I think the fans are going to turn out. I think the team's going to be fired up. This is, their first big game at home. They had a cupcake game week 2. I think this place is going to be electric. I think Michigan State does win this. I think Kenneth Walker is going to be able to run the ball against the Nebraska team that has struggled at times to stop the run. You look at that Illinois game, and you look last week, Oklahoma was able to run the ball fairly consistently. I think Michigan State establishes the run, but I do think Adrian Martinez is good enough to keep this close throughout the game. I just think Michigan State is able to control the pace of the game, able to control the clock. And right now, Peyton Thor in this offense is rolling a bit too much. And I think Martinez is going to make a late mistake to really seal the game. I have Michigan State in a great game in East Lansing, 27-20 over the Cornhuskers. So I got a 7-point win. They cover that 5-point spread, just in case you guys are wondering. But, man, if you're new, smash that subscribe button, man. I promise you will not get more in-depth and more college football coverage anywhere on YouTube, man. The Bluebloods are the best doing it right now. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that thumbs up on the video. Definitely helps us out. Appreciate the support. And also, guys, make sure to share this video with any of your friends, family, anyone like that. So definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. Got Michigan State by 7 this weekend in East Lansing, 27-20 over Nebraska. But, guys, I hope y'all have a great weekend. A lot of great college football coming. This was our last week 4 preview of the week, man. So make sure to go find that playlist and check out all the other games that we have previewed. But for right now, man, the Blue Bloods are out.